thanks for joining us today. My name is Alice and I am Head of Student Operations over at Command Shift. Today I am joined by Lottie and Nick from Good Energy. They are currently hiring. They have 2 developer positions and they're going to tell you all about those roles. So I will now hand you over to Lottie.
Awesome. Thank you, Alice. So yes, just to touch on, I'm Lottie Woods. I'm one of our talent acquisition partners here at Good Energy, specifically working across sort of our talent pipeline for our graduate roles at the moment. And we're going to walk you through sort of what that means here at Good Energy and what kind of projects and what kind of process that application involves as well. So yeah, thank you for joining and I'll hand you over to Nick.
Hi everyone, I'm Nick Mason. I'm Head of Development here at Good Energy, so I look after all the software developers and all the testers as well. I will take you through a few slides, tell you a bit about Good Energy, a bit about the stuff that we work on, and a bit about the early careers training program that we have in place for all of our new starters. So Good Energy, who are we? The tagline for us that we are an 100% renewable energy supplier to domestic and business customers. So basically, if you get your electricity or gas from somewhere, you come to us and we'll supply it. It's 100% renewable, so we basically pay generators, i.e. people who have wind turbines and solar farms, directly, and they will then supply the energy to us. We don't cheat like people like Octopus and Bulb used to. We are the greenest out there, and there are lots of consumer trade magazines like Which you'll have heard of, and Uswitch as well. They constantly vote us at the top of the tree of being the greenest guys out there. That's why people come to us, and that is why they stay. Other things that we do is that we support customers to generate their own energy. So this is people who are have solar panels on their roofs or own a wind farm as well, and we are able to pay those guys for the energy that they're putting back onto national grid, and we pay them via some incredibly complicated means via Ofgem, who are the trade body who look after things like that. So lots of very, very complicated systems that we administer to be able to pay customers like that. Good Energy are very nearly, in brackets, a B Corp. So B Corps are corporations that are able to demonstrate high social and environmental performance. Obviously, we score incredibly highly on the environmental performance side of it. It builds trust with consumers, with other communities and suppliers. There are actually quite a few businesses who will only do business with other B Corps because they know that it's essentially doing the right thing for global causes. It takes a very long time to get B Corp accreditation, but we are very, very close on the way there, and we will certainly have it this year. We've also very highly rated from the Best Companies survey. So we've got 3-star award. That means we're a world-class employer. We've been ranked 52nd in the nation of big employers. So we're clearly a fantastic place to work. So all people who join are super happy with what we offer people. So what do we do then? So the software department, we get given a whole bunch of requirements from across the business for things that are going to make our customers' lives more useful, and also people within Good Energy as well. The main thing that we do, and I'm sure most listeners on the call are lucky enough not to have to pay their own electricity bills at the moment. If you do, you'll be aware that you have ways of managing your account. So you can put meter reads in, you can view your bills, you can make payments, you can change your direct debits, lots of stuff like that. So we have, actually we're doing a brand new website and a brand new mobile app at the moment. These are all being written from scratch, and then once they're done, and matching our existing mobile apps out there, we're going to add lots of brilliant features that will make our customers super happy. We also have join journeys. So this is where we want people to come and use the website to join Good Energy and become our customers. We support that. We write lots of systems to help our internal users to process payments to energy generators, so people who have got solar panels or people who own wind farms. It used to be all very spreadsheet and very error prone based. Now it's click a button and it all works perfectly fine. So we have lots of stuff to support those. A big project we're doing at the moment is called SmartX. this is all about, at the moment, if you send your electricity back into the national grid that you have generated from your solar panels, we'll simply say, well, you used half of it and you're exporting the other half. So we'll give you half the money for all the energy that you generated. But actually, if you have a smart meter installed in your home, you can tell how much energy you're exporting back to the grid, and we can pay you that exact money for it. So it's unbelievably complicated. It sounds quite simple when I say like that. Really complicated system. The industry first that we're doing is you don't need to be a good energy customer to also have this payment done as well. That's a bit of an industry first there. We also do things like marketing campaigns. So our marketing department come to us and say, we want to send out a whole bunch of emails to our customers, and in it we want to have a link, and when they click on it, it'll put them on a brand new tariff. So we have things that support marketing there, and there are loads of smaller one-off projects that we have. For example, we are able to integrate with moneysupermarket.com, and we can compare the best deals, and hopefully people will come to us. We don't go compare as well. There's various little projects that come through like that are quite interesting and add to the variety of our work as well. So the tech stack that we're using are websites. We try and keep our tech stack fairly narrow. So basically, it's easy to employ people with the right skills that we have. Our websites are written in React. We're using Next.js that you might have come across. This is all about rendering your websites on server side to make it more performant than rendering it on the client side. Our mobile apps are written in React Native, which is very similar to React. So our developers are able to move between the two quite easily. Our backend is written in C#, .NET 6. We mainly use Cosmos databases, which is a Microsoft NoSQL database technology. We've got some SQL databases around as well. We actually have a separate data team who are the experts in those sorts of things. Lots of our messaging, we use Service Bus for that. Web API is how our servers and our clients talk to each other, and everything we do is hosted in Microsoft Azure. So that's our cloud technology of choice. Our team structure, so we have 3 Scrum teams. Scrum is the methodology that we use here at Good Energy. 3 Scrum teams. Each team has a lead developer who's the de facto leader of the team. 3 other developers of descending experience, let's say. And then we have our new, I've got graduate developer there, but it's simply our new, fresh out of training courses developer team. Then you have a product owner on each team. These are the guys who specify the work that we got. They're the guys who take the requirements from the business and then specify the work they want the developers to do. And then we have an automation tester as well, and they will test the software that the developers write. They will also then write an automated bit of software. We're using Selenium at the moment, and it will basically drive our websites and our mobile apps to test them as if a user would, and that's our how we know our work is done, because we have these automated tests that can run every time we deploy our software. So when our new early careers joiners start, we put them on various training courses. So we've actually run through this so far with a couple of graduates. Well, one was a graduate from a computer science course. Another one had done a Knology bootcamp who joined us as well, a 12-week bootcamp. So it's all, we try and tailor it to the graduates depending on how they like to learn and what they like to do. So I'll take you through what they've been doing. You can see the Pluralsight training courses there. So building React apps with TypeScript. TypeScript is a strongly typed version of JavaScript. Slightly more in-depth JavaScript items going forward as well. Then fundamentals of C#. Mock is a test framework to allow you to basically stub out huge bits of the system so you can isolate tests that you want to run. XUnit, which is bug fixing by it's a .NET framework item. ASP.NET Core, we've got Cosmos databases in there, and then a few more things around using Azure and hosting functions in there and using Service Bus there. Bit of SQL Server as well, and Next.js too. So all of those training courses, we try and stagger these. We don't lob all the training courses to people and say, there you go through all those. We have quite a few pieces of work, and bug fixing is a really good way for new starters to learn our code base, get to use of the technology and stuff like that. So it's interspersed with some fairly easy starter work as well that we want people to do. And then a grad project. So we have a couple of projects actually at the moment. Our existing new starters, they're only doing the one. It's a to-do list, so it's quite simple. We basically get them to first do a website where you're able to click on boxes and add and remove tasks. It's dead simple. And then we completely over-engineer it to give them lots of different tech to investigate on their own. And the two grads are actually working on this together. So they're able to feed off each other and get ideas. And obviously they have the support of the wider team where needed. So after they do the initial website, they're able to play around and store data in the local storage of the browser. They write automated end-to-end tests as well. I think they use Selenium to do that. They also, later on, you'll see they do some API tests that we use Postman for our API tests as well. They move on to use some database storage. I think they're using Cosmos to do that. Then they start to pass the data around using Service Bus. We get them to add monitoring in, so we have some Google monitoring going in there for various stats and analytics to be identified. Then they host the whole thing in Azure, and then they start actually using Azure pipelines to deploy the software automatically when they start changing any code changes. So unbelievably enormously over-engineered, but really good to sort of get a feel of all these different technologies. So a week in the life of a graduate dev. Actually, we're completely open to feedback from our new devs, and this has actually gone slightly differently. But how we start out is that after some training courses and a little bit of bug fixing here and there, when we feel that they can start diving into teamwork, they actually join their Scrum team. And for 3 days of the week, we'll have tailored bits of work for them, and they are very tailored. They are easing you in, and once you're ready to be challenged a bit further, we'll start upping the difficulty of those. But you will have large amounts of support from your team to work on those. And then Thursday, Friday, we have 2 days on the grad project where the grads get together and they work on the project I mentioned earlier. Actually, at the moment, the guys, they really love working on the Scrum team, and one of those days now sometimes is taken over to sprint work with their team, depending on how they've been going. So we're being very fluid about making sure that the grads are doing what they want to do. And it's a really good way of learning working on the Scrum team. You've just got so much support around you, so it's a great way to do it. We do actually have another grad project to do with an incredibly overly engineered stopwatch as well. At the moment, the grads are saying they feel at the end of this project they're going to be fine to go on the team. So we probably won't be using that. They've got all the training they want, and they feel that they are useful members of the team who are contributing. So that's great to see. But yet we are always open to feedback, and everyone's different, and we will support people how they want to be supported. Those are the end of my slides. Back over to you, Alice.
Perfect, great, thank you. So I guess it'd be quite good, Lottie, I mean, you just have a quick chat, I guess, about the other details. So I guess the application process, the interview process, and everything like that. So I don't know if you mind talking me through that.
Yeah, brilliant. So our applications went live yesterday, so Monday the 9th of Jan. Initially, we do go out for 3 weeks, so sort of closing towards the end of January. But last year, where we were so inundated with candidates, we had over 200 sort of in the first week. Mm-hmm. So it's quite likely that we would close it before that period if we're really inundated again. Yeah. So my words of advice is that people just get their applications in as soon as they can, just because you don't want to miss that spot. Yeah. And in terms of application, so just making sure that individuals have got an updated CV, and we also do like a cover letter. Nothing too long-winded. Just why you're interested, what's perhaps led you to complete the bootcamp in the first place, and anything around that within that attachment. And then in terms of the next stage, I'll be going through having a look at profiles. And then we do sort of like an SHL sort of verbal reasoning and aptitude test. So that sort of assesses more of sort of the math and the calculation behind sort of decision making and joining patterns and those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And then once you've completed that stage, we would then be going forward to having that initial discussion with probably Nick or maybe our lead developers for those scrums that we're recruiting for. That was more of sort of an introduction, what's attracted them, any questions that we might have. And after that stage, we would hopefully just have a one-stage interview. And that would sort of be a discussion point, behavioural questions, maybe a couple of like technical questions. So that's sort of what our journey is looking like. And the two roles that we have, we're looking for individuals to come in and start with us, between sort of June and September time. If individuals are looking to start sooner, then that's a conversation that we can have. So we've got the application with their CV and a cover letter, then the verbal reasoning, and then a discussion. So we're trying to sort of, slim that process and move through as quickly as we can.
Okay, perfect. And obviously you'd recommend for people to apply as soon as possible. She had lots of
because it gets so tricky when we have hundreds and hundreds.
And I guess, is there anything you would say really stands out on people's previous candidates' CVs that you would sort of recommend people to put in? Is there anything that you really look for in a CV?
This is why this kind of recruitment is actually so tricky, because we're almost looking for the blank canvas. It's not necessarily, that experience. If people have work experience of some form, that kind of shows their motivation to want to work. And we do, that does have meaning, but equally that's not essential. So as long as it's up to date, it's properly formatted, and within their cover letter, perhaps just adding a little bit more as to why us, why sort of our values and purpose. We're very much a purpose-driven organisation, so individuals need to align to our values, and that's sort of part of our assessment method as well. So just really making sure that it is that right cultural fit.
Definitely. Okay, perfect.
Seeing people having personal projects as well is really useful. Seeing people, living and breathing this stuff and putting up a portfolio that can be looked at is great.
Cool. So you want to see that passion from them as well.
And just a quick one, actually, the working schedule that we have. So our office is in Chippenham. We've got the one office, so based in Chippenham, which is in Wiltshire. And our these early careers roles would be working on a hybrid basis. And what that looks like is we're having one anchor day a week. So the whole team make a conscious effort to come in on that one day and really have that collaborative environment. And that current day for the dev team is a Wednesday.
Cool.
And if they want to come in more, then we've got a beautiful open plan, lovely office with like fresh fruit, fresh coffee. But just that one day a week is the absolute minimum.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. So I think it's great as well for juniors to be around a team, like an active development team.
Definitely.
And people around
and
them.
have that support as well.
Yeah. No, definitely. Cool. Great. I think that was everything I was going to ask. I don't know if anyone else has any other questions that is watching live, or if there's anything else anybody would like to know. You both did a great job of explaining everything.
Thank you.
No, but I think that's it. But no, that was great. So thank you. So applications in as soon as possible. They will close potentially end of January, maybe earlier, depending.
We wouldn't close it any sooner than the end of next week. So I think as long as individuals look to get it in before Friday the 20th, we would be all good. So that would be our sort of recommendation of timelines.
Okay, perfect. And just another message for the students. This role is available for, oh, my cat's just jumped on the table. This role is just available for students who are graduated or will have been graduated by June or September, which should hopefully be everyone that's watching anyway. But if you do have any questions, feel free to pop a message over to me. I'll give everyone Lottie's email address as well. I'll pop all those details into Slack, as well as the link to apply and the job description. But no, thank you, Lottie and Nick. That was really, really great.
Awesome. Thanks for coordinating, Alice.
Oh, no problem. I'll chat with you both
Cheers.
soon. Thank you. Have a nice day, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.